Hey everybody, we're live. JRP here. First of all, I want to apologize for the late upload today. I did have a plan for a video this Monday, but our internet went out and will continue to be out until Wednesday evening. And so, unfortunately, my video will be delayed until then. But the good thing is that meant that you guys get another video out of me this week. This one. And so, make sure to tune in to Wednesday. Normally we don't make a video Wednesday because of our rolled back film schedule, but now you get to tune in on Wednesday evening for another video. And also for that other channel, which shall not be named, if you guys know about it, was going to go up on Wednesday morning, but of course is now Wednesday evening. But let's get into what I want to show you guys today. I took a little while because I wanted to figure out what could I do today for a live stream for something that you guys might be interested in. And I thought, why don't I show you what I'm doing right now? I am editing Paradox 3, and that is why I'm not uploading so much, because it's taking time to make this movie great. So let me just go over some of the things so you guys fully understand the scope of how big this is here. So first, when I downloaded all 394 videos, the first thing that I had to do was organize them, which is not as easy as it might seem because I film everything out of order depending on my actor's schedule and also based on location availability. So I had to literally watch every single one of the 394 videos and figure out which one goes to what. So let me go into organized movie scenes here. Let's let that load here. I'm gonna pull this off to the side real quick because I want to make sure this is not something I don't want to show you guys. Let's see. Yeah, I'll show you this much. Okay, and so, well, actually, just ignore these white things. These little white files appear when I drag it into the Movie Maker. So I had to label each one, and I don't know if you can see it in the live stream. Sometimes it's blurry, but every one begins with an S. So for any normal scene, like this one is labeled S1P1. That stands for Scene 1, Part 1. And then some of them have more than one camera angle, so I would add Cam A or even Cam B. And some of them have multiple options within it, like maybe we shot the scene twice and I can't decide which one is better. So a fully coded video might say Scene 1, Part 1, Camera A, Option 2, which would look like S1P1CA02. So it took a long time to label every single one of those videos. That alone took me like 5 days. And then I was finally able to start on the movie. And then I organized it into a bunch of other files. We'll be doing a documentary again on this movie like we did for Paradox 2. So I had organized all that. Then once I did that, I was finally able to start. So let's look at my Movie Maker. Actually, you know what? Let's open up this one real quick. By the way, I use Sony Vegas Movie Studio. That's what I've been using. Let's minimize this here. I need to get it to the right size. All right, that's a good size. The good thing about this is that you can really size this perfectly to what you need. Okay, so let's take a look at this Movie Maker, what I had to do. What this is right here is the Paradox 1 and 2 recap, which you'll see at the beginning of the movie. So, in order for this to happen, I had to drag the whole movie in here, but that alone wasn't easy because I had saved the movie with, of course, lots of music and sound effects. I needed to remove that in order to create a recap. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just mute the whole video? Well, I still wanted the voices. So I had to re-edit and resave the whole movie, both movies, Paradox 1 and 2, just to even get it in here without that. So then once I put it in here, there were multiple steps. First, I had to select which parts of the movie I wanted to show, which meant that I had to watch a whole 40 minutes of film and really analyze it and try to figure out which parts were the most vital. Then I had to thoroughly crop and paste each one because often what I'll do is I will shorten it to match some music. The music I have here lasts about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't really have an ideal length for a recap, but I do try to not let it go on too long because people do get bored. So often when it comes to an exact length, I'll match it to the music. And you'd be surprised, it was actually pretty hard to get a recap of two movies down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I simply had to look at each part and edit it. So let's take this first clip, for example. Let me turn it up here. I'm gonna go ahead and play it to get an idea.
Gary Johnson, stay in your office. Lock the door. And don't come out till tomorrow or you'll...
Alright, so let's look at what I did for this clip. I actually didn't do too much. I started it right here, so I had to trim it, and then I made it to an appropriate volume. This little blue line that goes up and down lets me control the volume. If you highlight over a little square on the blue line, it'll tell you the volume is at 1.4 decibels. When the default is 0 decibels, and that actually doesn't mean quiet. That means the unaltered version of the video. It starts at 0 decibels. So often I'll make them quieter. Like this video is, let's see, minus 6.2 decibels. That doesn't mean that it's negatively quiet. It just means that it's quieter than its original format. This one is 1.4 decibels, so it's a little bit louder than its original quality video. So that's how I control the volume. And then you can also choose transitions. You can go, like if you see over here, you can go like a robotically straight line to make it louder, or you can go kind of a gentle curved ramp down like this. I often will choose that ramp so it's a nice gentle transition into the next video. And this is essentially important when it comes to music. This song in particular, I actually didn't have to do too much. You see a little bit here where I turned it down for some part, but for the most part, I was able to just keep it straight. You really never want the music to overcome the video. That is extremely important. The music has to be a background, even in a recap. And so, let me see what else I can show you here. When creating the captions, you have the option of creating it in Movie Maker or somewhere else, and I went for the outside option. I created this on PowerPoint, just got the black background, typed in the text, and then put it on over here. That's easier for me because I can get the font that I want. The one that they have on here is a little bit clunky, and it doesn't always work perfectly, so I like it in here. And in case, once again, I'll say that I am using Vegas Movie Studio. However, I just bought Adobe Premiere and Photoshop, and that's the end goal of what everyone's using. So I will be getting into that soon. This may be, and probably will be, the last movie I use on this software. It's been a really good run. I really do like this software, but it's time to step up the game. And so I will be talking about Vegas Movie Studio. So for the recap, there was not really any special effects that I did, so I was able to roll through this pretty quickly. It was just a lot of volume changes and cuts, making sure that I kept it to the appropriate length. So now let's look at my other one. This is the actual Movie Maker for Paradox 3, what I'm doing right now. I don't really want to show too much because this is an actual scene that's in an actual movie that you're going to see, but I do want to show you just a little bit of what went into the special effects here. Oh, let me fix this real quick. There we go. All right, I'm just waiting for it to load. The textures have to load a little bit here. Now, my biggest hurdle for editing this movie so far was the fact that I shot it in HD 60 frames per second. This software can really only handle HD 30 frames. It'll still work with me if I want a bigger format, but it's going to highly skip. It's only going to show me like every 50th frame. It's when I save it, it's going to look great, but in the editing itself, it's very, very choppy. So I'll often have to slow down the video very slow to fully see what each shot is going to look, and that's kind of a pain, but it's worth it to make it look as great as I want it to look. If I want to slow it down, you'll see on the bottom left of your screen, we have this little red triangle. I can speed it, I can make it 0.0, that's complete stop, or I can do up to 4 times the speed. So I'll often drop it down to like 0.22, maybe 0.3. If it's faster than that, it's probably not even going to play. So that's one big hurdle. So then let's also look at a few things that I did here. I don't really want to give you the context of what's going on, but I'll still kind of show you what's going on here. So this is a replay from the very end of Paradox 2. because as you probably know, Paradox 3 is a seamless transition, as was Paradox 1. And so we have a special effect that I'm going to be adding here. This little bit is probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, it's about 12 seconds. That little 12-second bit probably took me, I think, 2 solid days of editing to fully get in here. So let's, I don't know if I could even play it because it's 60 frames per second. Let's watch this in slow motion, and then you can kind of get a faint idea in slow motion. Make it bigger for you. So I know it's not perfect because it's in slow motion. Let me skip it forward a little bit. So but you can still get an idea. Let's see. And now. Right? Like, okay, no. Come on, we're almost there. And now. All right, I added a portal effect. I added a shaking, I added a flashing, I added spots, I added jitters, I added shaking, I added hair. I have 3 different sound effects going on, lots of flashing, lots of shaking, and then we're going to have a negative, we're going to go negative, and then we're going to fade out. All right, now I know that was a little hard to appreciate, really, really slow. It'll obviously look better, but if I showed it fast, it would just skip. So sorry about that. But you can see that there was tons of special effects that went into that. And when you watch the film, it's going to go by in a matter of seconds. So it might be a little hard to appreciate it. But let's break it down what I did here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sound effects right here. I had to change the volume for each one as we talked about. Then on top of that, then I had to edit the video because we were kind of in slow motion. So I had to edit that exact length. I then wanted the effects to increase gradually over the 12 seconds. So I had to cut the video multiple times and increase the percentages for each one. Let's take this one for example. Let's press the effects button right here. Open that up. We got a few things going on here. We have color corrector, film effects. We have why do we have 2 color correctors? Wait a second here. Color corrector. Huh. Well, wait, what color corrector is this? Got the blue. Huh. I'll have to check on this. I actually don't know why it has 2 color correctors. But it probably actually isn't supposed to. I'll have to look into that. This one is 0.43 and this one is, so if I remove that, huh. Let's see, it's like that, and then it's like that. Like, well, what's this one? I'm figuring this stuff out as I go along, guys, in case you didn't recognize. Let's see. So that removes that color. That didn't really do anything. We'll keep that off. And what does this do? This one out, and we need that one, and this one. So if I go from this one to this one, that doesn't do anything. So yeah, I'll keep it off. I think that was a mistake. Okay. We can all make mistakes sometimes. And finally, this one. So what happened here is I just discovered live on set here that I doubled the number of color correctors. You don't want that. So the reason why I used a color corrector, yeah, huh. It's not supposed to look like that. What the heck? Invert? Yeah, hold on here. There we go. And then, yeah. So I don't know what that was, but I had doubled the color corrector. What I use for the color corrector, the reason why I use it is because the scene has this blue background. You may have not noticed it, but the lights do not come like that naturally. I had to add that. So I doubled it by accident, and that messed it up. The second thing I did was film effects. I have like you can have grain, tint, particles, and then there's options here: dust, flicker, hair, jitter, scratches. So like I click on one and then I'll bring it up to like this is 5.84726 decibels, and that lets me select exactly how much I want to do. And finally, there's invert. I turned it on, made us look like skeletons. Let's watch the whole thing again and see if it looks any better with my changed effects. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm so glad I caught that, guys. I would have never caught that if I haven't done this right now, guys. So that's great. So that kind of can give you just quite an example of how long this stuff takes. I mean, we've been talking now for 15 minutes just to give you an idea of really how long editing takes. So when I say that I can only upload like a video once a week, you can kind of see why, because this little tiny thing took me days just to figure it out, and this movie's going to be about 35 minutes long, so I have a lot to do, guys. I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea of what I go through to make you guys an incredible movie. And I wish I could show more, but I'm trying not to show the new movie. But I'll tell you now, if you've made it this far to the end of the video, I'll give you a little sneak peek. The video that was supposed to be today, that we've rescheduled to Wednesday due to the internet, is a Paradox 3 featurette. Not quite a trailer, but it's kind of us talking about the film, so get pumped for that. And then is it next week? Let's see. 1, 2, okay, it's not next week, but in a couple weeks, we will be having one more Paradox trailer, the third and final one. I'll talk about it in a weekly wrap up in a few weeks. So you'll get a little more footage on Paradox before it actually comes out. Once again, it comes out on October 29th. That's a Monday. Grab your friends, grab your enemies, grab anybody you want. It's going to be a really, really great film. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for it. I've been putting in a lot of effort, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. You guys have an awesome day, and I will see you this Wednesday. Ciao.